Fashion.
And news.
We also have some pretty awesome guests on today's show.
Can I call you
Jiggly?
And the fantastic Gabrielle.
Who is an award-winning trans activist.
She is, and she's got some interesting facts to tell you guys. But let's move it quickly over to now that's what I call entertainment. And on entertainment today...
There we go, we're back.
We're back. We have the Thin as Fuck with Khloe Kardashian.
We're going to be talking about that Snapchat ad featuring Rihanna and Chris Brown.
We're going to be looking very closely at the Film Academy.
We're also going to be talking about Bruno Mars and Buffy.
And we're going to be discussing the new storyline in Coronation Street, which is really shedding a light on male rape.
I think that's a very good place to start.
I do as well. So Coronation Street, David Platt has just started his new big storyline, and it is to cover male rape and how it happens. It was done by GHB. He put it in his drink, and this guy was just his friend who were like doing gym together. They were doing all these sports together, and he literally drugged him, raped him, and the next day he was so blasé. He was just kind of like, so this happened. And it was like, wow, well, what? And there's been an uproar.
Nice. There's
been a crazy uproar. People are really angry that there's a storyline like this. And I'm like, well, hang on a second. Isn't this what needs to be out there? Because it's happening.
It's very true.
Do you know what I mean?
What gets me, from what I've read about all of this, is that people are really, they're up in arms and they're shocked and saying, how could you be showing this on the telly? Yeah, when it's a man raping a lady, that seems to be on the telly quite a bit, and nobody really seems to protest that anymore. It's kind of become commonplace. It's almost as if we're so desensitized to these things that it's perfectly acceptable to say that on a 7 o'clock soap, and for it not to be all that shocking, because the way people look at it is, well, it happens all the time, which is shocking.
I can see your point on that, and I can totally agree. I don't think they've desensitized it or kind of made it less of a thing. But I do feel the uproar should be there regardless. And people should be quite shocked and quite, well, if anything, impressed that Coronation Street are willing to discuss and show what actually happens.
Oh,
Do you know
exactly,
what I mean?
Exactly. I think the whole thing with desensitization is it's people as an audience are desensitized. I don't think the writers are not being sympathetic. The writers are being very sympathetic by doing this story. I think it is more to do with the public's perception of things these days. A lot of bad things kind of are a bit more acceptable, which is...
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, that's not allowing it to happen. And I feel everything is making things public to everyone. You know, EastEnders, Hollyoaks. But Coronation Street just seems to get really in there and show everything. I mean, previously there was a storyline about grooming and abuse on a girl, and people were up in arms about that. But if it was just a girl getting raped, I think people would have been like, oh my god. Like, there was a TV show, the name is... I've lost the name, but you might... where the doctor raped her and kept doing it, and he drugged her, and then he was like saying it wasn't him. But that kind of... people were like, wow, I can't wait to watch more, because it was like, wow, it was so real. So that people on the edge of the seats watching this, like, God, because it does happen.
Oh, yeah.
And it's as if, women do get raped.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing with soap operas. They do show the harsh realities of life. And I think when they are showing these things, we shouldn't really be complaining. Another story which we read this week, kind of staying along the lines of abuse, is Snapchat. They put an advert out saying, would you rather slap Rihanna or punch Chris Brown? Now, let's just rewind the clock back to 2009, and Chris Brown was arrested for basically beating up Rihanna before an award show. So this touches on domestic abuse. When me and Faye read this story, we both thought to ourselves...
I couldn't believe it.
Well, we couldn't believe it, and we both thought, like, it just seems to be, especially where celebrities are concerned, a lot of things just get forgotten. And since 2009, Chris Brown's career has gone up and up, and Rihanna.
He has, I mean, for someone who has done what he's done, he got another single, another album, another album.
Award after award.
Sold out concerts. And I just think, is that kind of us just, yeah, it's fine. It's fine, do it. But that's the thing, it happens. It's happening everywhere. Even now, in the Film Academy, the president, guys, of the Film Academy has been under investigation for sexual harassment. For the president of the Film Academy, I mean, God knows how many people have said okay, because he could obviously open many, many doors.
Well, the thing is, this just goes to prove the reason why this has been, it's been rife. It's been an epidemic, really,
it's acceptable.
in the film industry, is because it's come from the top. And often where abuse is concerned, if it's happening, it generally comes from above. So the people above, and you've got the person right at the very top of the food chain, as it were, who is sexually abusing people. It's no wonder it was allowed to happen. Thank God people are actually speaking up about it now. Thank God, at least people are doing something.
Yes, I agree. People are speaking up about it now. But, I mean, is it a little too late?
I don't know if it's too little too late. I think it can't get any worse, surely. Now things are out in the public, it can't get any worse. And it should have happened long ago, way before now. So at least something is being done.
Well,
something's better than nothing.
Something is being done, but I think that we really lose the fact that not only is sexual harassment happening to women in the industry, we recently watched the two Corys.
Oh, yeah.
And it totally showed what it was like back then. I mean, it was basically a thing in the industry that happened.
The boys' club.
The boys' club.
To be in the boys' club, if you want to be in this film, you're going to have to do this. And it is little wonder why people like Corey Haim went the way he did. Sadly, he passed away about 8 years ago.
But these are legends. This was the Goonies. This was the Lost Boys. These were people that we were all watching. And yet, because it went on, everyone just was like, oh, it's fine. They're making money. And then again, probably going to be hung up, but then again, they kept quiet about it. Why? Because their career was progressing. So even people that, on one hand, yes, they could lose everything, and that's probably what they would be saying, but on the other hand, it doesn't really mean that it's acceptable, because they're now speaking out about it now, but why didn't they do it then and there?
Maybe it was the culture of the time. It was the 80s, but then again, that's not an excuse. We were born in the 80s. The 80s wasn't all that long ago.
No, really wasn't.
The world has changed quite a lot probably since then, but I don't think it's changed that much. So,
well, on a lighter note, Khloe Kardashian, thin as fuck. I love Khloe, I really do. But the crap that she's getting for this, I mean, did we not all know that that's what she did anyway?
Exactly.
She's a bigger girl.
Exactly, that is the whole thing people are missing with Khloe. She's not a size 4 stick thin model type. She's always been fully figured. She's got a fabulous figure. She's looking probably the best she's ever looked, if I'm honest. And she's just saying to people that you can look the best. Here's how you can look the best. And she's not saying if you're big, you should feel bad about it, because I certainly think, and I'm sure Faye feels the same, you should just embrace everything about yourself that you love.
Everything about yourself. And if you
don't love something about yourself, there is ways to kind of maybe change it, or, you know, learn to accept it.
Learning to accept it, I totally agree, but is this not just a case of she's pregnant, so she's just doing like the whole, like, if you still want to look thin, and because she's a bit of she's a plus size girl, and she is that type of lady, she's very slim, but she is a bigger girl, is it really a crime that she's getting so much hassle? I think leave them alone. We've let them destroy us enough anyway. and just let her get on with it. We're hoping to bring Jiggly Caliente on to discuss everything RuPaul.
Yeah.
If you're out there, please comment along with you, Gabrielle, so we can grab you straight in. But let's move on to RuPaul. Was she the deserving winner?
Oh.
All Stars 3. I mean, I'll have to say, it went over by a flash. I felt like the first episode came on and then it was finished.
Justice for Shangela. Justice for Shangela. I think the final two should have been Shangela and Trixie. I think that would have been an amazing final. I think Kennedy did good, and I kind of understand why the Queens did it. You know, she was on the show because her career maybe wasn't going where she wanted it to go. She's not a bad drag queen. she is a good drag queen. But I just think on the show she didn't really develop much from the season she was on. She was on a level on her series, and then she hasn't gone up that level. As we would say, she hasn't leveled up.
Well, yeah, and I agree with that. She didn't level it up, but I mean, wasn't it a bit of a flop? The whole show.
Oh, it wasn't as...
Why was there not the big stage? And it was like, hey girls, come out the back. Yeah, you've won. And that's it. I kind of feel...
It's a bit lackluster.
I do. I mean, all the All-Stars are a little bit like that.
Yeah.
But shouldn't it be bigger? Shouldn't it be better? Shouldn't it be more like Shazam and all that stuff and more to do with, like...
All-Stars?
Yes.
Showing the best and showing how these stars that we like from the show, the reason why they're called All-Stars is because they may not have won their series, but since leaving the show, they've gone on to do bigger and better things. Trixie is a good example of that, and so is Shangela.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like an open business meeting. You've got the big queens that are sat, so Bendel and everyone, they were all sat, and then these other queens came on.
The jury, wasn't it?
Those other queens come on, and I bet backstage they were like, well, if you choose us, I'll work with you. If you do, and it's a bit like, let Rue decide, because let's face facts, Rue would have chose Ben to win.
Well, if Ben had
by a mile, and I just feel it's a bit shame. If Gabriella can just comment just so we can bring you in soon, I just think it's a bit of a shame, and I feel no matter what you do, if you come off RuPaul or you come last, or you come second, or you come first, it's what you do with it.
Exactly. That's the thing. Trixie
was a star though.
Shangela is... God, Shangela's done so
I
much.
feel there was Trixie and there was Shangela who both did something leveled up. And unfortunately, one won. I don't really think Kennedy should have been there.
Not in the final two.
I mean, just did anyone see...
Oh, it's Gabrielle. Hello, Gabrielle.
Did anyone see that the hair? There was no hairline. I just...
Oh, it's...
Oh my god. Sorry. Oh my god. She just...
Oh, the same dress?
The same dress!
Same concept. So with the hairline, it was painted red, but I think a forehead was painted the same colour and it just blended.
Oh, she looked like Willem on a bad day. It was like 12 o'clock shadow. She had 12 shadow.
On her forehead.
It was so bad, and I can't. Jiggly, we understand time difference. She may have got confused. We know what Rain was like. But I definitely think... I just think they need to kind of do it right, because it was kind of, I mean, All-Stars. Was everyone an All-Star? Was everyone an All-Star? No. I mean, there was that one that was like,
I didn't understand why Aja was there. I didn't understand why
the
Aja
Queen,
was there.
darling.
Aja was in last season. I don't really think it's fair to have someone who's just left the season, unless it was the runner-up. So had it been Peppermint, I would have understood it a little bit more.
No, trans people aren't allowed in.
Oh, yeah.
We know the rules. No, but seriously, that is what needs to happen. And, like, I just think the show needs... Rue needs to release a show in the UK.
Oh God, yeah, it needs to happen.
Because what's next?
UK. It needs exactly what is next for RuPaul.
What's next?
Exactly.
We want to know what you guys all think as well. What did you think of RuPaul? Who won? Let us know. Comment, because we can read them all. But finally, Jossie's favourite.
Oh, right. So, we also read...
She begged for this to be in, by the way. She's like, I want this in, I want this in. And I was like, oh, okay, we can put it in.
Right, so this is how our conversation went. I actually rang Faye and I was like, Faye, they're making a Buffy reboot, you know. What did you say?
What? That was... And then she was like, Buffy to me, I just think like vampires. But then I was like, oh yeah, the witch. So if they're looking for a new witch to call...
Or somebody to be the new Buffy.
Well, I wouldn't call her you, but okay.
I would call her me. I'll be a vampire.
Yeah, she'll be a vampire that's killed off
Oh my
first
god,
season.
could I be Drusilla?
See?
The crazy
See?
one.
It sounds cool. Anyway, they might be
Sorry,
rebooting it, just like they're done with Charmed. It kind of needs to have Sarah Michelle Gellar in it.
If she's in it.
Not in it for long. She's not be in it for long. Just a little bit where she's kind of like, I'm training you all or whatever. Blah, blah.
If it's like a continuation of what happened. But the show did end 15 years ago, so let's just keep it at its time. It was a really special show of its day. Let's just keep it of its day.
Exactly. Well, guys, it's now time for That's What I Call a Discussion. On the discussion today, transgenderism, war on women. And does self-identification work?
Well, that's the thing. So...
Oh, wait there. Stop the whore.
Right,
Stop the whore.
Right, okay,
Stop the whore. Which, Sashi, you've just touched on. This is why I love the comment section, because I can pick them up. Before we go on to the discussion, because this actually isn't our discussion, but we actually left it for the news, but it's a good one. Ant and Dec. I mean, Dec must be so pissed off. Like, seriously. It's like you. Don't say me. It would be more me. It would be more me. We know it would be more me. But I wouldn't be driving a
Well, I don't drive, so that's why.
Oh, okay. I mean, he's all that money, right? All this money he's got. Why can't he say to someone, and this is what I would do. Right, mate, I'm going to get absolutely wrecked. And I'm going to be wrecked. I don't care. But you make sure I get from pole to pole in a car driven by someone. There's a blank check, whatever it needs to cost. There you go. But he's pissed with his mum in a Mini, driving around, and then crashes, and he doesn't just like crash it, like he smashed into one car, it swerves around, it hits someone else. There was a little girl injured, there was a guy injured. And the thing is, what irritates me, I love Ant and Dec, and I'm like, yeah, get to rehab, sort yourself out, mate. But he had that chance, and we all give him it then. And now, this horrific accident actually happened. Do you not think it should be a case of, well, actually, you've just endangered loads of people's lives?
Exactly. This is going
back... Is it because he's got a...
It's going back to that double standard. So,
for
example, because she said to me, she was like, I'm sure Gaza did something similar. And Gaza his name was Mudge at one point. He'd done exactly the same. If somebody who wasn't famous or was a celebrity maybe wasn't his life. George Michael. Yeah. The late George Michael, he crashed his car into a bush or something, and people completely ridiculed him. He had basically the same problems as what Ant's having, and it is a double standard.
It's a double standard where basically because he's Ant, he's allowed to do what he wants, and all we're going to do is be like, yeah, come on. But you know the actual real thing, I think you need some tough love.
Exactly. Like
if he's fat, we all support him, but a little bit of tough love, as in, you know what, Ant? Yeah, we want you to get better, but what you did was absolutely irresponsible. Like, from being Ant and Dec to leaving his wife, I think manager at one point, who probably was the one, I'm going to say, because I'm all about women power, she was probably the one that got him out of bed. She was probably the one that got him dressed, got him ready, made him get to every event and build his career up. Now she's gone, he's driving minis and crashing into people. Do you know what? And you should have reconsidered the divorce, mate, because now she's gone, you're in the public eye and you're not protected, because I bet she was the one that protected him.
Exactly, that's the thing. Even though as wrecked as he would have been, he still would have known his aunt that he's really famous. That's what gets us, like, you can't get...
If I was to do it... So if I did it, transgender, used to be a man, war on women,